Stop scrolling for a moment, because something has been trying to reach you long before your eyes found these words. You may think this is just another message, another voice among countless others, but there is a reason your heart suddenly feels quieter than it did only a breath ago. There is a reason your thoughts paused, even if only for an instant. You were not searching for this moment. Yet somehow, this moment has been searching for you. You have carried a question inside you that even your lips have been afraid to speak aloud. It has followed you through silent mornings and sleepless nights. It has echoed inside crowded rooms where you smiled while hiding the ache no one could see. You have wondered whether love simply forgot your name. Whether your heart was created only to witness happiness from a distance while everyone else seemed chosen for the embrace you have waited your entire life to feel. You have heard whispers in your own mind that said, "Perhaps love is not meant for you." And every time those words appeared, they left another invisible scar. But listen carefully. Not because I ask you to believe immediately, not because I demand your trust. Listen because something inside you already recognizes this voice. Not as certainty, but as hope refusing to die. There have been moments when you looked at your own reflection and searched for the reason people walked away. You examined every flaw, every mistake, every awkward silence, every goodbye. You replayed conversations until sunrise, wondering if one different sentence could have changed everything. You blamed your appearance. You blamed your timing. You blamed your dreams. Eventually, without realizing it, you began blaming your own existence. The saddest prison is not built with stone, it is built with questions that never receive answers. You know exactly what I mean. You remember promises that dissolved into silence. You remember messages that stopped arriving. You remember waiting for footsteps that never came. You remember convincing yourself that if you loved harder, sacrificed more, became quieter, smiled longer, expected less, perhaps someone would finally stay. Yet every attempt seemed to end the same way, not because your heart lacked value, because you were measuring eternity with temporary hands. Still, there is something you do not know, something hidden beneath every disappointment, something that has remained invisible because your pain stood directly in front of it. You thought rejection was the ending. You never imagined rejection could be a disguise. Before you dismiss those words, think carefully. How many times did you beg for something that later revealed itself to have been incapable of protecting your heart? How many doors refused to open while another path quietly waited beyond your sight? How many tears did you cry over people who never truly saw the soul standing before them? There is a difference between being unwanted and being unseen. Most people spend their lives confusing the two. You believed someone failing to recognize your worth somehow erased it. It never did. A diamond buried beneath the earth does not stop being a diamond because no one has discovered it. Its value remains unchanged. So does yours. But I know, knowing this does not instantly erase loneliness. You still wake up wishing someone would send the message first. You still wonder what it feels like to be chosen without having to earn it. You still imagine conversations that never happened. You still carry memories that everyone else has forgotten. Sometimes you even apologize for feeling this deeply, as if your heart committed a crime by hoping. Do not apologize for hope. Hope is one of the last lights darkness cannot extinguish, even when everything around it appears cold, even when disappointment becomes familiar, even when another season passes without the answer you expected, hope remains. And that alone should tell you something extraordinary, because if your spirit truly believed love had abandoned you forever, it would have stopped waiting long ago. Yet somehow, against every logical explanation, a part of you still believes someone, somewhere, something beautiful remains possible. That quiet belief did not appear by accident, neither did the longing you carry. Nothing planted inside the soul exists without purpose. The thirst exists because water exists. The hunger exists because nourishment exists. The longing for genuine love exists because genuine love was never created as an illusion. Yet there is another truth that is harder to accept. Sometimes the greatest danger is not being unloved. Sometimes the greatest danger is accepting counterfeit love simply because your heart became exhausted from waiting. This is where many lose themselves, not during loneliness, during desperation. Desperation whispers dangerous things. It says, take whatever affection appears. It says, ignore the warning signs. It says, half-hearted love is better than empty hands. It convinces beautiful souls to settle for relationships where they slowly disappear, one compromise at a time, one excuse at a time, one broken promise after another, until they no longer recognize the person staring back from the mirror. You almost walked that road. Perhaps you already did. Perhaps you stayed months longer than peace wanted you to stay. Perhaps you kept forgiving what should never have been repeated. Perhaps you convinced yourself that suffering was proof of loyalty. But love was never designed to erase you. Love does not demand the death of your identity. Love does not celebrate your confusion. Love does not require you to become invisible just so someone else can feel comfortable. Real love leaves room for your soul to breathe. Counterfeit love teaches your soul to survive. There is a difference, and your heart has learned that difference through tears words could never explain. Still, there is another layer, a deeper one, because this message is not arriving merely to comfort you. It is arriving to awaken you. There are patterns hidden throughout your life that you have mistaken for coincidence. Remember the relationships that ended unexpectedly. Remember the opportunities that disappeared without explanation. Remember the friendships that faded no matter how hard you tried to preserve them. You saw endings. I saw interruptions. There were paths your heart desperately wanted to continue walking. But not every road leads toward healing. Some roads become beautiful prisons, decorated with affection, filled with chemistry, overflowing with temporary excitement, yet secretly leading farther away from the life waiting for you. Not every open door deserves your footsteps. Not every person who admires your light intends to protect it. Some only wish to borrow it. Some only wish to consume it. Some are drawn toward your kindness because they have never learned how to create kindness within themselves. They arrive thirsty. They leave full. You remain empty. And then you wonder why giving everything never produced peace. Because peace cannot grow where boundaries are treated like betrayal. Listen closely. There have been people who loved the comfort you provided, Without ever loving the weight you carried, they celebrated your generosity, but disappeared during your sorrow. They welcomed your patience, but rejected your honesty. They enjoyed receiving your loyalty, yet feared offering their own. This imbalance slowly convinced you that perhaps asking for mutual love was asking for too much. It never was. You simply became accustomed to surviving on emotional crumbs. Imagine standing beneath the night sky believing stars no longer exist simply because clouds temporarily cover them. That is what pain has done to your vision. It covered, it never erased. There is something remarkable about hearts that have suffered deeply. They become incredibly skilled at recognizing danger, but sometimes, they become equally skilled at rejecting miracles, not because miracles are absent, because fear begins wearing the mask of wisdom. You tell yourself you're protecting your heart. In reality, your heart has quietly stopped opening its windows. It lets no fresh air enter, no unexpected light, no possibility, only memories. Memories become furniture inside your soul. At first they visit, then they stay, eventually they convince you they own the house. Yet today, something is changing. You cannot fully explain it. Perhaps you only feel it as a strange stirring. Perhaps these words seem strangely familiar, as though your spirit heard them long before your mind understood them. That feeling matters, because transformation rarely announces itself with thunder. Sometimes it arrives disguised as a whisper impossible to ignore. There are moments in life when everything appears ordinary on the outside, while eternity quietly rearranges everything underneath. This may be one of those moments. Have you noticed how the hardest seasons often taught you truths comfort never could? You discovered your own strength only after believing you had none left. You found compassion through heartbreak, patience through waiting, wisdom through disappointment. None of those lessons felt like gifts while they were happening, yet they became treasures no one could steal. The world measures success by what you gain. Heaven often measures growth by what you outgrow. There are versions of yourself you can no longer return to, not because they were evil, because they were incomplete. You once believed being chosen meant never experiencing rejection. Now you understand something deeper. Rejection often reveals direction, but there is still one mystery remaining. One question hiding beneath every other question. Why did your heart have to experience so much emptiness before arriving here? Why did hope survive when logic insisted it should disappear? Why did every ending somehow prepare you for words you are hearing right now? The answer is closer than you realize, closer than your next breath, closer than your oldest memory. Yet if I revealed everything at once, you would mistake revelation for imagination. Some truths require preparation before they can be carried. Your spirit has been preparing longer than you know. Every disappointment refined something inside you. Every lonely season sharpened your ability to recognize authenticity. Every unanswered prayer reshaped your understanding of timing. You thought nothing was happening. Invisible work is still work. Seeds beneath the soil appear lifeless, right before they break open. Perhaps that image unsettles you, because breaking often looks identical to ending, yet they are not the same. An ending closes, a breaking begins. What if your heart has not been abandoned? What if it has been opening? What if every crack you tried so desperately to hide became the place where greater light could eventually enter? Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal changes everything you believed about the sentence that has haunted you. Love is not meant for you. Those words, they were never your own. They were placed inside your thoughts piece by piece, through disappointments, through betrayals, through comparisons, through watching others receive what you kept praying for. The lie became familiar, and familiarity often disguises itself as truth. But there is something else speaking now, something older than fear, something stronger than rejection, something that has watched every tear fall when no one else knew you were crying. It has remained silent, not because it abandoned you, because the moment for its voice had not yet arrived. Now it has, yet. Before you hear what has been hidden from you all this time, there is one memory you must revisit, not the happiest memory, not the most painful one, a different memory, one you have nearly forgotten. A moment so ordinary that you dismissed it completely, you believed nothing significant happened there. But that was the very day everything quietly began to change, and when you finally see what was truly happening in that forgotten moment, you will never again say, "Love is not meant for me," because you will discover that someone, or something, you never noticed was already moving long before your heart realized the journey had begun, and the truth hidden inside that forgotten moment is far greater, and far more unsettling, than anything you have imagined so far.